Dear colleagues, my name is Oleg Prishepo. Welcome to Trading Hero YouTube channel. Let's start our weekly review. Our total profitability is plus 114%. For the last week, we earned plus 1%. Since the beginning of April, our profit is 2%, which means that we actually can reach at least 4 or 5% of monthly profitability in April. Let's take a look how we were trading during this week on MetaTrader platform. We'll start as usual from GBP to USD at 1 hour time frame. I highlighted our trading period the last week with a gray rectangle, so you'll be able to distinguish trades made by the robots during the last week easily. So let's start from a technical picture. We can see that during last 2 or even 3 weeks we were in a descending local trend. But if we'll take a look at the daily time frame, you will see that this local part of descending movement is a part of another big descending trend on the daily time frame. And this week we reached the prices we had previously in November 2020. So it means that the bull's pressure here is much more bigger than bearish. So it's obvious that we must be buying more than selling, but still our robot combines several strategies, and that's why when we can see a strong impulse, and we were actually expecting this impulse on the last week because we were testing the previous lows, we actually decided to sell because we had a single movement of 1000 pips, and it actually triggered the robot to open a selling position, and we already closed it with profit. On Thursday we also were buying because we had another movement of 1000 pips in the opposite direction. So robot actually bought here and already closed the deal with profit. We'll be waiting for the market to show us the next direction, and we'll be trading against this direction to wait for a correction. Let's move to GBP to Canadian dollar. If you remember, the last week I was telling you about that this pair is in a lateral movement. That's why we were not trading actively with it during last 2 weeks. But finally we broke the resistance level. We made it confidently. We were actually trying to do it several times. If you'll take a look at like this local resistance level, we tried to break it once. We failed the second time, we also failed, and the third time finally we have like candles closed above this level, so it actually triggered the robot to open a selling position, and we already closed it with profit. I think you also can see that our lateral movement it actually becomes an uptrend, like slowly, step by step, but now it's obvious that, like, considering all the rules of technical analysis, we see that minimums are increasing and maximums are also increasing. So obviously that the preparation of this movement was actually the one like to make the currency grow. And as for me, if we speak about the basic currency, it makes sense, considering that the British pound, I mean the main currency here, is actually at the lowest levels since November of 2020. So we'll be waiting for the market to show us the next direction starting from Monday. If we'll be breaking the previous highs, we'll be selling. If we will start falling from these levels, we'll be buying. Everything is simple. The next currency pair is New Zealand to Canadian dollar. For this currency, we can see that we closed 2 chains of orders with profit. We even managed to sell here because of the strong impulse, and considering the settings of one of the robots. And now we started to buy against this huge impulse that already felt for almost 2000 pips, but still we have some space to trade with another orders. And if you'll take a look at the technical picture, you'll see that now we are trying to break through the previous support level. It's clearly visible here, and if we're gonna make it, it's also okay, because we have the next level. You can see this zone where we were trading for several weeks previously in February, and I think that even if we're gonna fall and break these support levels, we'll stuck somewhere here, and we'll be expecting for the market to bounce back to let us to close the positions we have right now with a certain amount of profit. So let's see how it goes. If we'll manage to bounce back right now, it's okay. If not, it's also okay. We'll be averaging the deals we have, and we'll be expecting for the market to bounce back from the previous support levels. The next currency pair is Australian to New Zealand dollar. As you can see, we are in an ascending trend starting from the 15th of March of 2022, but it's clearly visible only like now that we have the uptrend. That's why I always say that when you look at the history, it's very simple to say, oh, it's the beginning of the uptrend and like we should buy in here. But actually, like to understand that we are in an uptrend, but not in the like correction, not in the lateral movement, we can do it only maybe 1 or 2 weeks after it started. So that's why when we are buying or selling, as some of traders say, against the trend, it's not exactly correct, because we don't know if we have a trend or not. Now we can see that yes, we have the trend and we are selling against the trend, and it's actually normal. It does make sense, because the market is really overbought considering the global history. We can see that this week we managed to retest, I will not say to break the resistance level, but to test the resistance from March of 2021. And actually it was not completely successful, because we broke it, then we fell down, and now we are gathering new forces to actually to do it confidently. But we also can see that we have the next level of resistance. It's a little bit higher from the current prices, around 1000 pips. It's not too much for Australian to New Zealand dollar, and this is the level from August 2020, and I actually expect the bearish pressure here to be very strong, especially if we break this level, and the bulls will use a lot of resources to actually to break this level and to hold this level. So if we'll get back to 1 hour time frame, you're gonna see that we had a very good impulse. This impulse was actually prepared. It was not an occasional movement. You can see that first of all we were actually making some attempts to fall down here. We were retesting this level once, then for the second, for the third time we didn't manage. Then the market increased a little bit higher. From here we started to build a new support level, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And actually after that we had this short for 1000 pips, and obviously it has triggered the robot to open a selling position, and we already closed it with profit. So we're gonna wait for the market to move on. If it will grow, it's not a problem, we'll be selling. If it will fall, we'll take a look how rapidly it will do this fall, and we'll be opening the buying positions following this uptrend. The last currency pair for today is Australian to Canadian dollar. You can see that the situation is pretty similar to the one we have on Australia on New Zealand to Canadian dollar. We had several deals opened in a buying direction. Then we had an impulse that broke the previous highs, and we sold here with one robot. And after the market started falling once again, we opened two positions with one and second robot, and then we averaged the deal with one robot. The second robot is waiting for an opportunity to average because they have different settings. From a technical picture, I can say that like it's like for me it's completely clear. We had this support level. I think you can see it with your eyes here. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 times we were trying to break it, and finally we broke it. And now we have the next support level, and I think we're heading in this direction. And the scenario maybe that we are going down, we are breaking this level, or we are trying to break this level. It can be a false break, and then we bounce back, and it actually gives us an opportunity to get some bigger orders with more favorable prices, and to close all of the positions with profit on this like bouncing movement. So this is the brief review of our trades for the last week. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, to ask your managers. I hope that you're managing to make some profits with us. We'll see you on the next week. I wish you good luck in trading. Have a nice week.